Very good morning and welcome to Base Talks. I hope you're keeping well wherever you are, and we are as well, as you can see. And apologies for starting a bit late, but we are here. The conversation today is quite interesting because we're going to talk about matters sustainability, the role of business in environmental conservation. Because as we know, sustainability, environment is very big when it comes to those particular issues. Now, in the house, we have Mr. John Mwenda, who's the Director, Public Affairs, Communication and Sustainability at Coca-Cola Beverages, Africa, Kenya. And he's right here, and he tells me he's more than ready to have that conversation with us. But first, could you kindly tell a friend to tell a friend that the conversation has started? Share it out so we can get started. John, karibu sana.
Asante sana. And I like that the conversation has started.
Yes, it has.
Yeah, so thank you so much for starting the conversation this way.
Excellent. I have a way of always starting this conversation with any of my guests, and one of it is when people look at you and say, this is John Mwenda, when people ask, who do you say you are, what do you say?
Who do I say I am?
Yes.
I'm different things. And I say that because I ask that question to myself a lot of times.
Yeah.
But the one thing that it cuts across all the people that I am, or the persons I am, is I'm someone who's passionate about what I choose to do.
Okay.
And at one point I said my purpose was to make a difference in the things I choose to do. Not in everything,
Yeah.
but in the things I choose to do.
I love that.
So I would say that I'm passionate in the things and for the things that I choose to do. And in the moment now, I'm very passionate about sustainability because I think we are at halftime. Halftime of good, where we had everything,
Yeah.
and we are facing the other halftime of bad if we do nothing.
Oh.
So very passionate about that from a career point of view and from a relevance of the conversation we're going to have today.
Okay. How did you get into this? People have been saying this is relatively new. Some people are saying, no, it's not. But here in Kenya, we are seeing it big time. And I can give case in examples where now these ESG rules, all that.
Yeah.
And businesses constantly have to start. If they haven't started thinking about this, they have to start thinking sustainability. So I'm curious to ask, how did you get into this particular field as we now veer into what you're doing at Coca-Cola?
Yeah. So interesting question because I'm not a legacy sustainability person.
Yeah.
I'm actually a legacy HR.
Oh.
I spent all my life, career life, doing HR at different levels.
Yeah.
So 6 years ago, I got into 7 years actually. I got into Coca-Cola Beverages Africa
Yeah.
as a HR director, and after many conversations, what else can you do? What else can you do?
Yeah.
An opportunity came to be in the sustainability space. So it was more of growth within, but the greatest leap wasn't actually in changing their roles, but in changing the understanding I have on sustainability.
Yeah.
And just to go a little bit back, the perception is that sustainability is new, but the fact that it's not,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
sustainability from a thought process is not.
It's not.
It's just amplified the last couple of years because of where we are sitting time-wise. So if you go back even maybe into the 70s, there were conversations of if this trend continues,
Yeah.
we're going to be in danger. Okay.
Yeah.
So there were actions being taken, whether it's a removal of CFCs that were damaging the ozone. So the conversations have been there, whether it's a whaling issue that was conversed about because I think there was a grey whale that was getting extinct.
Yeah.
So those conversations have been there.
Okay.
However, now we're not staring at a horizon of where danger can be. We are actually at the point where danger is. So that's why it seems very amplified and it's almost sounding new.
So let me ask you, and this is a very good conversation because anybody who's watching and has been hearing these things may be thinking, we're not yet there. I mean, we have the likes of big time influencers, people like the Trumps of the day who would say these are hawks and all that, those kind of things, and they don't believe in climate change and all that. But where you see it, you're saying we are actually at the danger point. Here in Kenya, before you even think of how businesses can be thinking about sustainability, here in Kenya, are there key things that you have seen that you're thinking, Kenyans, open your eyes and see this? Or you better be careful because we're about to get to the red line. Are there some from your end?
Yes. you know, and I'll take the most salient one, which is now drought. Okay, the drought we're facing today
You're right.
is a consequence of climate change. That is without a doubt.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And everyone is experiencing it. And, and I'll reference the drought later, if you allow me.
Yeah.
The other one is we need to go back and count the rivers we used to see 20, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay. We either don't see them or we don't see them in the magnitude they existed. Okay.
Yeah.
And the last thing that I'm going to say is just last month, one of the county water suppliers within the metropolis of Nairobi ran dry. They switched off their water supply
Oh my.
for the first time since the 70s. So these are obvious signs of climate change and therefore environmental degradation.
Yeah.
But at even a micro level, I remember growing up, there was a gray, I think it was a gray crested crane. I may not be quite right on that name, but it's a bird I used to see every day. Okay.
Yeah.
And I didn't know it was gone until last month when one of the television stations ran a story about it. And it's getting extinct. I think out of the previous count of 35,000 birds, they were sitting at 8,000.
Yeah.
Okay. So people just need to open their eyes and see.
Yeah.
They don't even need to read. They just need to look around them and see.
Okay.
The other side, which is seemingly positive, is development. You know, they just need to see that, you know what, we're cutting down trees, we're replacing green with concrete, and that's a no-brainer. It's affecting the environment.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow. Anyway, and as you can see, even the current government of the day, they're quite big. They're saying they want to do a lot of things. I think we have a target of 1 billion trees and all that. But hey, let's come back now to the role of business in environmental conservation. And you see it at a place where you're in business as well.
Yeah.
I would like to start from what are you doing, and then now merge it in with what you see as the role of businesses, whichever the scope in environmental conservation.
Very good.
Yeah.
So at CCBA,
Yeah.
we've got a sustainability pillar, which is an
Just
engine
post there.
of-
CCBA. You know, we may not have introduced him well. CCBA.
CCBA.
Yes.
Very good. So
Yes.
CCBA is Coca-Cola Beverages Africa.
Excellent.
We are the makers of your favorite drinks, Coca-Cola.
Yes.
We've got the Fanta. We have water,
Yeah.
Dasani and Keringet. We've got juices, Minute Maid. So we're a food beverage company.
Excellent.
The good thing is we are present at every occasion.
Yeah.
Okay. And Christmas doesn't happen until you say it's Christmas. So that's who we are. That's who we are.
Okay.
So the reference of CCBA in Kenya,
Excellent,
it's the Coca-Cola beverage manufacturers.
Okay.
So we've got Nairobi,
Yeah.
Bottlers, as people would know it before. We've got an operation in Kisumu,
Yeah.
an operation in Nyeri, and an operation in Eldoret.
Yeah.
And we've got an operation in Molo, Crown Beverages, that does your Keringet water.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right. Now let's go ahead.
So at CCBA,
Yes.
we have taken sustainability as an engine of growth. And what we're saying is we will not be responsible if we don't have sustainability in context of ESG as one of our pillars. We are prioritizing sustainability over profit. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'll come back to it because that's one of the challenges that we see today.
Okay.
We therefore think of our products, we think of our operations, both in the factories and outside in our distribution from a sustainable point of view. We think of our suppliers from a sustainable point of view.
Yeah.
And we have extended sustainability beyond environment. So I know you said ESG at the beginning.
Yeah.
So we're talking about environment. Okay.
Yeah.
We're talking about governance as well. Okay. We're talking about the communities in which we operate.
Yeah.
Okay. Are we just selling and not empowering communities? Are we doing it sustainably? So that's what we do. Now it's more detailed within CCBA because then we're talking about water, we're talking about energy, we're talking about World Without Waste, we're talking about economic empowerment,
Yeah.
we're talking about touching the people who are underprivileged or not having the opportunities. We're talking about people with disabilities, for example.
Yeah.
So it's touching the whole spectrum of sustainability from not just Western environment, but beyond.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do I see as a role? What do I see as a role of organizations or corporates or
Businesses.
companies today,
Yeah.
businesses today,
Yeah.
first of all, is to be aware that they are contributing to environmental degradation.
You're right.
To be aware that they are if damage to the environment is 100%, they've got a portion. Okay.
Yeah.
Whether it's half, whether it's one,
They're part of the game.
they are part of it.
Yeah.
Okay. And they look at themselves from a mirror image where they ask, how do I contribute? And not look at themselves from a window image where they ask, how do you contribute?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because then that way it's easy to blame other people when you look at it from a window point of view, but when you look at it as a mirror, you can ask, okay, I'm doing half. How can I mitigate my half? Or how can I even mitigate 5%? Okay. So the role is first of all to look and identify their role in this whole process of environmental degradation. Okay. Two is get into the process of end-to-end design of the manufacture and distribution process.
Yeah.
Like, do they produce in a way that uses less energy?
Okay.
Do they produce in a way that uses alternative energy? Okay. Do they manufacture in a way that uses water less and less? Less water for every portion of whatever they produce,
Yeah.
is done.
Yeah.
Do they limit emission of carbon into the environment? Okay. And then in the process of that manufacture now, are they able to impact communities properly?
Yeah.
How are they discharging
Yeah.
their post-production waste? Okay.
Yeah.
Then going to the market, how do they distribute? Are they using trucks? Are they using cars? Are they using pickups? Are they using people who are having trucks and having pickups and having tuk-tuks?
Yes.
How are they doing this process?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then that way, they are able to map their footprint and mitigate properly.
Okay.
Okay. Then, which is very now critical to the conversation today, what happens post-consumer? Okay. Because yes, we've produced well, we've distributed well, it's now in my hands as a consumer. What do I do with it?
Okay.
Do I hold the bottle, for example, as an example of today, and throw it in the environment? Okay. Do I get it and use it to redistribute paraffin and milk? Okay. What do I do? Or do I take it back to someone who can recycle?
Yeah.
So I see the role being mapping, first of all, appreciating their impact and mapping end-to-end points of impact and designing their processes of manufacturing, distribution, and post-consumer with a view of returning the waste that they collect, the waste they put in the environment.
Okay, John, and I'm loving this conversation and how honest you're bringing it in, that there's that place of intrinsic look and saying we are part of the problem and we need to see what can we do because we're contributing to this. Now, because you represent a big company, I mean, we grew up, I think even you as well, we grew up and Coca-Cola was the game. I mean, it's still here.
Yeah.
I mean, I love it as well. But sometimes I look at it at my years then, I'm not too old, but I'm trying.
To be
at
old.
my years then, we didn't have this, single-use plastics, just picking up your bottle and just walking by, which is a very convenient way. Sometimes I like it because, just at a drive-through, you can easily just go on by. And I had to go with an exchange bottle those days and the likes. And I know we're evolving because we cannot remain that way. And I don't know whether there has been those kind of conversations or whether those are things in your books. So what I'm trying to do is put you on the spot a little and ask you, being one of the companies as well, as you've said, we are all playing a part in this game, this whole ecosystem of knowing that we have a role to play, we are contributing to this, and we have to think of how we do this in a better way.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Because someone here would accuse you and say, you guys, I saw your plastic down there.
Yeah.
What do you think? What's in your mind on that?
So what's in my mind is, so first of all, thank you to know that you've grown with Coca-Cola. So
Yeah.
Coca-Cola has been
Yes.
impactful in your life. And also, it's great to see that you've seen the transition, okay, as a consumer.
Yeah.
And what I would say is, what you refer as big organization is not a point of privilege at all. It's actually a point of responsibility.
Responsibility. I like that.
We get up every day
Yeah.
thinking what is the responsibility of us as a brand, okay?
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's not the size of factories you have,
Yeah.
but it's also the power of the brand, okay? So the conversations that we have are actually conversations of how do we get to a world without waste? That's a conversation we have.
Okay.
When I sit down with people in the office, when I talk about impact, we're always talking about what is a world without waste.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, the transition to bottle, it's good that we talk about why did we transition from as a consumer base,
Yes.
not as a manufacturer.
Yeah.
Is how did we
consumer
transition from bottles, returnable bottles, to single-use plastics?
Yeah.
Is consumer trends changing?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because today, you don't want to sit down and have a Coke and go. You want to have the Coke on the go.
You're right.
Okay. People are more mobile and don't always return to the local retail kiosk.
Yeah.
So where you'd go and buy a soda and say, you know what, I'm going to take it back to Maju's kiosk. Okay. It's now you buy at Maju's kiosk, but you end up at John's kiosk.
Yes.
Okay. So people are more mobile, and therefore the plastic, and not single use, a more convenient packaging was needed.
Okay.
What was there at the moment is the plastic bottle.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is there now is the whole world challenging themselves. How is it that we'll make that bottle not single use?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How will we take it back into the process, not once, not twice,
Yeah.
but multiple times, and forever?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I know I joked about people using the bottles to do paraffin and milk. That's not sustainability.
Okay.
That's not sustainability.
That's not it. Yeah.
No, that's not it. Sustainability is making sure this bottle goes back to the process of manufacture
For reuse.
for
Or
reuse
recycling. Yes.
till now you're properly old. You said you're not old. Now till you're properly old. Okay. Yeah.
No, I love that. And
Yeah.
I love that that's a conversation you're having. And that's what I think you're alluding to every organization, because they are part and parcel of this contribution.
Yeah.
They need to be thinking, how can we make ourselves sustainable? I think that's the word that you spoke about. Let's talk about your partnership with Kenya Association of Manufacturers. I know you have a partnership. There were things you were doing there.
Yeah.
And you steer the establishment of the first producer responsibility organization in Kenya. That's PETCO Kenya.
Yeah.
And, which is good. I mean, so the Sustainable Waste Management Act as well, 2022, which mandates that all producers need to be registered under a PRO.
Yeah.
First of all, we'll start from the basics. What's a
Yeah.
PRO
Yeah.
for the people who are in business to understand?
Yeah.
Right. So what is a PRO, and what does it mean for consumers, producers, and just what are you aiming at for the environment?
Okay. So let me start even more broadly, if you don't mind.
That's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So organizations of manufacturers or producers must have a responsibility not just to put products into the consumer's hand. They have a responsibility of managing, of taking back
Yeah.
the waste.
Yeah.
Okay. Now that responsibility is a producer responsibility.
Yeah.
Okay. You probably, if you hear of EPR. Okay. That's a producer's responsibility, extended producer responsibility to take back the waste.
Yeah.
Okay. If you look at it and you think about responsibility is to take back, organizations and producers may not have the ability to get out every day and collect this waste.
Yeah.
So what do? They get a PRO, which is a producer responsibility organization, who then collects members who are producing, like you, similar, not like-minded,
Yeah.
like producing members,
yes.
because like-minded could be very different,
It could be different. Yeah.
who then say, because we're having this impact on the environment, can we come together and take back our impact? Okay, that's how then a PRO comes in. So
Okay.
PETCO is a PRO
Yeah.
formed by producers like us and others in the market, and its mandate is to ensure that we pick all the plastic waste from the environment.
Okay.
Okay. Now, because PETCO then does that as a mandate, it's able to empower waste collectors or waste managers.
Yeah.
It's able to empower youth groups.
Yeah.
It's able to empower community-based organizations.
Yeah.
Is able to champion regulation.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's also able to incentivize the ecosystem of collectors downstream so that plastic doesn't become waste, it becomes a source of income for many people. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's a creation of Petco. Now, Petco then has the responsibility of picking waste, taking it back from the environment, but then also connecting with recyclers.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you remember, for it to be fully circular, it's not just an issue of being out of the environment, because you can have it out of the environment and you have mount plastic somewhere. It's connecting with the recyclers, who then turn it into flakes or turn it into usable, reusable state. Okay, so our championing with Petco is going back to our responsibility that I called out earlier, that our mandate is to have a world without waste.
Okay.
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 Taking it to Petco, working with recyclers.
Yeah.
Okay. Then comes the Sustainability Waste Management Act that was put to force 2022.
Yeah.
Why is that law so significant for me and you? Okay.
Yeah.
It's because before the law, it was about those who are wheeling. Okay. And if it became too expensive for you, you stopped to wheel. Okay.
Yeah.
If you're too far away, you stop to wheel. Okay.
Yeah.
If you don't have the passion, you stop to wheel.
Yeah.
But this act mandates producers to take back,
Okay.
give responsibilities to at different levels, at the national government, at the county government, and also in your household. Okay.
Yeah.
So very soon, when you read the act and it's made operational, today many households have one bin that they throw plastic,
At least, yeah.
tea bags,
Yeah.
food, everything. They don't segregate. But now it will be a requirement by the law to segregate. That will become very easy.
Yeah.
That will become very easy.
Yeah.
First of all, to manage waste, but also to increase the velocity of waste management. Yeah.
Wow, I love that. And I think there's a whole, from what I picked from you, because I heard you mention government, there's a whole as well policy that needs to keep evolving and developing so that we can ensure we are headed to that. It's a more, I feel like it's a more multifaceted way of approach to achieve this particular goal that we're looking at. And by then I'll be asking you that question. What do you think could be more that the government could, because the day the Minister of Environment then woke up and said, plastic, paper, out.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have achieved quite a milestone in terms of, just looking at the environment around, which is quite good. Could there be more without really harming businesses? More policies that could enable? Because I know you have players as well who don't want to hear this story.
Yeah.
So that at least they're compelled to think like you're thinking, that the world is not just good, or it's not going to replenish itself not unless we take action. By them, now that I've said it, what's in your mind on that?
On replenish, or on the government.
Yes.
So let me start with the government.
Yes.
The government has done a lot, and we must give it credit.
Okay.
On this aspect of sustainability, and even more broadly, environment, climate change.
Okay.
It's done a lot.
Yeah.
But you see, the country and the operations in terms of the economy, manufacture, producers, and waste management, is a huge wheel. Okay, you don't wake up and just move it, and you see the motion, in 1 minute.
Yeah.
Unlike households or producers like us, where you can impact tomorrow. Okay, so the government has done a lot, and it's in terms of championing by law best practice. Okay. When it will come to implementation, and I believe now regulations to make the act operational are in the process of being enacted. Okay. Once those come into place, I think the bigger responsibility will be implementation.
Okay.
Okay. So from a regulation, the government is quite ahead, and ahead not just of ourselves, but also about other nations that I would compare with.
Okay.
So quite in the league of advanced. But there's also a lot of investment that has been done by corporates. If we make the law operational, which is my aspiration, for example, that we see it operational with EPRs, is implementation doesn't get hampered by what you said. That there are people who don't want to hear the story
Yes.
because either it cuts their profit or because it means some other kind of investment that they're not prepared for. So we need to implement and implement because we've got passion for the world we live in and the world that we'll leave behind.
Okay.
Not fear of the regulation. Because then if we fear the regulation, we're going to delay implementation,
Yeah.
or we're going to cut corners. Then we've got another challenge that will come in 10 years, 20 years.
Yeah.
It's not always smooth. It's not always smooth. And the issue of plastic bags, for example, it's a choice about who we want to favor. Did the government want to favor businesses or did they want to favor posterity?
Yeah.
The choice was very clear. Yeah.
Wow. I love that. And we want to appreciate what the government is doing, as you have said.
Yeah.
Let's talk about personal responsibility because, public may not be aware about Sustainable Waste Management Act as you have brought it up. What does it mean to them? Just could you highlight the role of each one of us in protecting the Earth's resources?
So I'll start with the fact that I took a survey. It's I think it's something carbon footprint calculator. I think that's the website I went into because I'm doing this course that mandated me to do that. And I stopped blaming other people.
Oh.
Because from that survey that I took, I needed 7 Earths to live the way I'm living today.
7 what?
Earths. So we think we've got 1 Earth.
Yeah.
John Mwendwa needs 7 Earths to live the way he lives today.
That's quite
Okay.
shocking. Yeah.
And I don't know what kind of Earth, maybe it's just my portion of Earth 7 times. It could
Okay.
have been. But it was an eye-opener that there are things that individuals need to do that will preserve and conserve the environment. And it starts with how you use the water. Okay? Simplistic as it looks, it is, do you let the tap run as you're brushing your teeth, or do you let the shower run as you're showering, or do you? Okay. Do you have you implemented alternative source of energy? Do you have solar? Okay. And not so that you save your power bills, it's because you want to love the environment.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you see the power of you planting a tree, or 5 trees, or 10 trees? Or are you focused on these 5 billion trees? Because those 5 billion trees is an aggregation of a tree.
Yeah.
And that tree will not come from
When?
the
Yeah.
government. The tree will come from individuals. It will come from people at the very micro level, building up to the bigger national level.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of need for individuals to start appreciating as well how they can reverse. I think the impact more is how they can reverse. When you go home or you go wherever it is that you plant trees,
Yeah.
you could come and see 10 trees, 20 trees in 5 years or something like that.
Yeah.
But also it's to question everything they consume. How can they make it more sustainable? How can they even be the ones who are leading advocacy for sustainability?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
How can they be those people who are catalysts for producers?
Be that champion.
Be that champion. Yeah. I'm looking forward to someone who will tell me, by the way, I've got 5 bottles of Coke bottles. Come for it.
Come for them.
Yeah.
Wow. There you have it. Very personal, very personal. As we come to the close of this, I'm curious to now get to understand. You are now on the seat. What are some of your milestones that you can say, I am happy we have done this at your organization?
So first of all, choosing to be thought leaders on sustainability. So there's a lot of work since bringing Petco to life. Consistently, we've taken more waste than we've put in the environment. Okay. And that's a shared responsibility. That's a shared point of pride between us and Petco and the people and the producers who belong to Petco. That's one. 2 is we've consistently gone into better water management practices.
Yeah.
Okay. We have consistently looked at the investment we have on fleet and coolers. So we've got new and more efficient machines that are operating, that are emitting less carbon, that are more environment friendly.
Okay. Yeah.
But the greatest point of pride for us is choosing to say we're going to do it.
Yeah.
We're going to do it.
You're going to do it.
We're going to have a world without waste,
Yes.
whatever it takes.
That's
Championing, shaping of regulation, championing the design of our products. And one particular one that I need to highlight, a couple of, I think it was last year, but one, we changed the Sprite bottle from green to clear.
Yeah.
And we had a campaign called Let's Make It Clear.
Yeah.
Okay? And
What was driving that, by the way?
it's sustainability. It is purely sustainability.
Okay.
The clear bottle is easier to recycle
You're right.
than a colored bottle.
You're right.
Okay?
Yeah.
So it meant it's a lot of courage to convince you that Sprite wasn't green. It was still clear. It's a bottle that was green. Okay.
Yes.
But it takes more than change. It takes consumer education. It takes letting people know why we are doing it. And those are milestones. The one thing that I would say about sustainability is it is take small, consistent action.
Okay.
Small, consistent action.
Yeah.
Ultimately, the wheel will be moving too fast. You look back and say, wow,
We did.
how did we make it? But it was every day thinking about it, every day doing something.
No, I like that.
And every day making sure
Yeah.
where you can, you're bringing people together.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're bringing other producers, other retailers, people in the ecosystem together.
I like that because that
Yeah.
speaks about partnerships. And are you open to partnerships, by the way?
Of course, Petco is a partnership.
Okay.
Okay, KEM is a partnership where we bring sustainability together.
Yeah.
So you can't do it alone,
So
but
if-
you can't fail to do because
Yeah.
no one else is doing it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So if I am this person located wherever I am in my village, an SME, I have my retail shop, guys come here, take a lot of sodas. Are there ways in which we could partner with you? Are there avenues in which I could reach out to?
Absolutely,
Distribute?
absolutely. So today
Yes.
we've got youth groups across many towns in this country who are doing plastic collection.
Ah,
Okay, and that collection is then linked up to recyclers, and the important bit is they incentivize the collectors.
okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
and why do I keep on insisting on incentivizing the collectors? Because then collection becomes meaningful.
Yeah.
If you flash back, just give or take 15 years, who used to collect waste? We used to label them as, chokoras.
Yeah.
No. Today, those are people who are doing waste management
Yeah.
through collection.
Yeah.
So making that activity of the economy dignified. Okay, dignified so that people look at it from, I don't collect waste, I'm making the world without waste
Wow.
through collection.
You're speaking about, I have a friend of mine who runs an organization called Taka Taka Nimali. That this is not just anything.
Yeah.
This is actually wealth.
It is wealth.
Yes.
And I agree. Waste is wealth. Taka taka is wealth.
Yes.
Yeah.
We have to always think sustainably, and one of the ways of thinking about sustainability is thinking about the next generation that is coming up. And I'm talking about the young kids, the teenagers of today who are in schools and all that. And I think there was a conversation that was being discussed that we need to bring back this whole conversation big time back to the school. In fact, somebody was talking about the 4K club days,
Yeah.
the wildlife clubs and
Yeah.
all those kind of things. What do you think from where you see it? What do you see? Is this important, and how? What's your opinion on this?
My opinion is we need to educate everyone. Okay. Where the critical mass for education is in schools.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Of course, those clubs used to help a lot. They used to help a lot. And they used to help, first of all, with the change in knowledge. Okay.
Yeah.
So we can straight line thought without making it too complicated. It means then without the clubs that used to give knowledge, then there's no knowledge,
There's no knowledge.
Of sustainability and,
Yeah.
and things that were being taught by those clubs.
Yeah.
So it's a big thing that we start to talk about sustainability in schools. Okay?
Yeah.
But it's also good to start having curricula that is sustainable. That's
Okay.
sustainability subject because it's beyond just collecting waste. Like I said, it's about the environment. Environment is so broad now. How do we mine? You know, everyone wants to have a house. Do we know the impact of building houses from transportation of the stones, degrading the quarries? Do we know, you know? And what is then interesting is when people have this knowledge, they will make different choices. Okay, because we must develop fast.
Yeah.
Okay, we cannot say that we not have households with fridges because they harm the environment. No, we must have them.
We need them.
We can't say that we're going to have less cars because they emit. No.
Yeah.
We need the cars, but it's just to start thinking about the different design of cars. Okay, because poverty is in itself a hindrance to sustainability.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Low standards of living are a hindrance to sustainability.
Absolutely.
And lifting level of standard of living, it's impacting environment. So it's growing, then making it sustainable, or growing as we make it sustainable.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love that. So I think we're in agreement here. We need to have everybody on the boat.
Everybody must be in.
Absolutely.
And everyone must be in from the earlier stage.
Okay.
Yeah.
So World Earth Day is coming up. What's in your in tray for this day?
What I would say is we start here with this
Yes.
conversation.
Yes.
And look out on our social media handles.
Yeah.
You see.
Okay, we will see.
Doing stuff.
So you don't want to tell us anything?
Not yet. Not yet. Not yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to put you on the spot. I didn't prepare you for this. A lot of people who are watching are SMEs, and one of the things they like asking is, when they look at someone like you, you're a leader, you've been in the industry for quite some time, whichever, in fact, you know, you started by saying you're in the HR, all that. That means you're even managing people. So one of the key things that I wanted to ask you, I think one person was alluding to that in the questions, is what's your tip in managing people? Because I think that's one thing that sustains businesses or doesn't.
Wow. Be a good human.
Be a good human.
Yeah. Manage people as a good human. Yeah.
But then how important is this?
To be a good human?
No. The management of people. Because I think from the question, then it means this is something that is so dear to them.
So if you can automate your processes, you don't need people.
Yeah.
But you need to sell your products.
Yeah.
You need people.
You need people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes we lead people and manage people from a metric point of view of did you do?
Yeah.
Did you not do? Okay. And we forget to ask who are you before what do you do? So the being human, be a good human conversation, it is helping that person, knowing that person, so that you're able to bring them up to be their best. And achievement is a consequence of who those people are. Don't make who they are a consequence of how you drove KPIs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like don't drive KPIs and then this person becomes so afraid, as a consequence. But make this person so capable and so sure that they can deliver, and they'll achieve KPIs as a consequence. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
It's a
So that's a whole. That's the good human conversation that I talk about, and every year you're gonna forget KPIs for last year.
Wow.
And you have new KPIs, and people won't forget how you treated them. Yeah, and you never wipe it out.
Yes.
Yeah, you still remember how teachers in secondary school, primary school, nursery school, kindergarten treated you. You don't remember your marks, of course, unless you're on the newspaper as a national achiever.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I love this. I feel like picking one more thing from that, because you have a lot of years of experience in that area. In picking up good talent, you've had, you're large. Let me use that word.
Yeah.
And you are in that seat. Any tip as well?
So large, I'll repeat this, large is not
Picking
a
good
point
talent.
of privilege, it's a point of responsibility.
Yeah.
Because it means then you have to pick people
Yes.
who thrive. in the organization,
Okay.
not who get lost in the organization.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, luckily now we've got more ways of picking talent, if that's the right word. You know, whether it's assessments, whether it's interviews that have become less complicated now,
Yeah.
whether it's looking at what people have done previously and comparing to what you want them to do. But the tipping point for talent is not how you pick them.
Yeah.
Is how you choose to retain them. Okay.
Yeah.
Because picking is easy. You can always be recruiting,
Yes.
but you can't always be losing and be sustainable. Okay. And remember, ESG has an S that has
Social.
yeah,
Yes.
social has stuff in it.
Yes.
So it's programs that you have for onboarding. It's programs that you have for making people do work with purpose,
Okay.
meaningful work. It's not whether we keep them there for 20 years or 30 years. It's whether you make them do meaningful work and therefore choose to stay with you,
Okay.
not feel stuck with you. Okay. And it's easy to get people stuck with you because you can tell them, the industry doesn't need a skill like yours, or this is the best place for the industry.
Yeah.
But you need to have people who choose to stay with you because they're doing meaningful work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like ending it there, but there's a follow-up thing in my mind, really.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
What about attitudes? Can they be changed? Someone said that this is the one thing that you should not try to deal with.
So there's this school of thought that hire for attitude, develop for skills and stuff.
Yes, is that.
There's nothing more damaging than a wrong attitude.
Oh.
There's nothing more damaging because it means, first of all, people come to poison the culture. Let's assume that your overall culture is an attitude.
Yeah.
People come and poison the culture and create a drug.
Yeah.
And if we relate to sustainability that we're talking about, it's like me collecting a plastic bottle from the environment and you picking it and throwing it back. That's a bad attitude.
That's a bad attitude. Yeah.
And it can happen in the workplace through, behavior, not playing team, not being aligned to the general strategy of the organization, and being a pessimist. Pessimism is an attitude just like optimism is. Yeah?
Yeah.
Like we're going to do sustainability, no, it can't be done.
It can be done.
We're going to get world without waste, no, it can't be done. So you cannot train for attitude, but people do change their attitude.
Okay.
Yeah. People see different things. People get exposed to different things. That makes them change their position if they're self-aware.
Yeah.
That they have seen something new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the fact that you're connecting this to sustainability, which as well is a big conversation for businesses, because rarely will you be able to pick, when you're picking good talent, rarely will you be able to pick that attitude on that desk. It comes sometimes when they have started coming in.
Yeah.
And so in closing of that particular subject, what should they do? You've given two options. You've said, rarely will you train this, and attitudes can change. So what should one do?
I think now you can pick attitudes. I think you can pick attitudes maybe, and this is not a scientific number, but I think 8 in 10 times you can pick the right attitude. I think that's my number.
Oh.
If you do interviews on a sheet of paper and you're looking down and you're asking questions, you may not pick it.
You may not pick it, yeah.
But if you have the right interviewing process and assessment process, end-to-end interviewing process, you can pick attitude. Okay. And because attitude is also malleable. It's also malleable. The things we know today, and I think we started this conversation, like how did you get into sustainable journalism?
Yeah.
It's not from childbirth. It's things that you saw
And you pick
that then you could not unsay them, as people say, and then it shaped what you think about environment and sustainability, and using your words, you projected into the future. Then it started to shape your thought and your attitude.
Yeah.
So 8 in 10, I think you can pick the right attitude. Maybe the other one will get into this good attitude and change. And then there'll be that one that represents the population. There'll be that one that It's part of the population.
You'll always have that one.
You'll always have that one. You'll always have that one.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much for that. Straight to the camera, anybody who's watching you right now, an SME, and is wondering, okay, I've had you, I need to start thinking about sustainability. Maybe they have already picked where to start or something of that sort. What's your parting shot? I mean, I've just left it open for you. What would you tell them?
I think my parting shot on this matter of sustainability is we will have to take actions as individuals and accumulate to like a whole nation,
Yeah.
or we will perish together.
Yeah.
The best example I give is the drought today affects everyone, including those who didn't take action and those who took action. So let's make this sustainability agenda and everyone's agenda.
Yeah.
Play your part,
Yeah.
whether you're conserving water, whether you're empowering a community through making meaningful contribution to economic inclusion, whether it's all without waste, do your part.
Wow. John Mwando, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
Good.
much.
Very good
And
conversation.
thank you for
Yes.
having me on this show.
All right.
Yeah.
Look forward to more, even conversing more. We sometimes have forums here, monthly, bi-monthly forums, and we're looking forward to as well having that interactive conversation as well.
Thank you so much.
And keep doing what you're doing, and you know, just to regenerate, because I know your ecosystem is quite broad.
Yeah.
You said it's not a point of privilege; it's a point of
Responsibility.
responsibility.
Yeah.
We ended at that. Thank you so much for your time, BizTalks. Let's keep working. Bye bye.